Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video I mentioned that I'll be sharing with you how I make my DIY whipped shea butter cream recipe. So I'm going to take you step by step through the entire process so you can make your own whipped DIY shea butter cream too. But firstly, if you're new to my channel, I have lots of useful hair care tips and tutorials, so definitely make sure you check them out and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. So in this video I'll be using my Kenwood mixer, some weighing scales, a pot strainer, a small glass bowl, a chopping board, a knife, a cooking spatula, and a tablespoon and teaspoon. So for the ingredients I'll be using shea butter, extra virgin olive oil, vegetable glycerin, grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, peppermint oil, rosemary oil, lavender oil, and 2 jars for my shea butter cream. Okay, so I'm going to be using 250 grams of unrefined shea butter, and I'm just going to check that the weight is correct by measuring it. So it's 250 grams. But before I get started, I'm going to fill up my pot with about a quarter of water and place the strainer on top of the pot before setting the stove on high, just to get the water boiling to help speed up the process. Another important thing to mention is that I set the stove on high heat because I'm using the triple boiling method and I need the heat to penetrate through 3 layers in order to melt the mixture. So if you do it this way, be careful that the water in the pot doesn't completely evaporate, otherwise it will end up burning the pot. So next I'm going to chop up the shea butter into smaller pieces to make it easier for it all to fit into my small glass jar, and also when it comes to melting it all down it makes it easier as well. So I decided to opt for unrefined shea butter simply because it hasn't gone through any chemical processes and no preservatives have been added, so it contains all of its natural properties and nutrients and the smell as well. So next I'm going to place all of the shea butter into this rounded glass jar and I'm going to add the ingredients. So again it's 250 grams of shea butter, and then I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of vegetable glycerin, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 4 tablespoons of sweet almond oil, 4 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, I'm just going to be using a teaspoon of peppermint oil. Then I'll be applying some rosemary oil. It's supposed to be 15 drops. A little bit too much came out and it happened to be 18 drops, but it should be 15 drops. So 15 drops for rosemary oil. And then lastly for lavender oil, 15 drops as well. Okay, so I'm now going to place all the ingredients on the stove and leave it to fully melt down and dissolve. And I'm using the triple boiling method rather than the double boiling method, which is commonly used, mainly because my glass jar is too small to fit directly on top of the bigger pot. But if you have a bigger glass bowl, then you won't need to use this method. So basically the purpose of the double boiling or triple boiling method is to help to protect and preserve the shea butter from losing all of its nutrients during the boiling process. So make sure you do it this way rather than using a microwave. So it took roughly 30 to 40 minutes to fully dissolve. I'm just preparing my Kenwood mixer bowl to pour the entire ingredients into the jar. Now it's a little bit hot still, so just be careful if you do decide to do this when you're taking it off of the stove. I'm just going to pour it into my bowl and making sure I use every last drop. You don't want anything going to waste. And then I'm going to place it into the freezer so that all the ingredients can solidify, which will help to create the right consistency and texture. So this is what it looks like after 20 to 30 minutes. It's slightly harder on the sides but softer in the middle. And I'm about to mix and blend it all together to create a lovely whipped fluffy cream texture. So I'm going to start off with the lowest setting, and then I'm going to increase it to number 6, which is the fastest one, to really get it all going. So this Kenwood mixer stand is for baking. It's great for mixing everything together, but I did find that some of the ingredients around the edges of the bowl were not getting fully mixed properly, so I had to manually mix it and then put the blender on again. But if you have one of the manual handheld ones, you can use that, or if not, you can use a fork to whisk it up, which is what I did when I first made this DIY mix, and it did come out really well. So as you can see, it's beginning to look lovely and creamy and a little bit like whipped cream, but of course it's not for eating, it's going to be for my hair. But just to show you again how fluffy, creamy and light it looks, and it smells lovely too. And I'm just don't want to waste, I'm just going to make sure that I don't waste any of the mixture. I'm going to scrape it all off of the mixer, and I'm going to give it a good mix again to make sure that all the ingredients around the side have been properly mixed and blended, as I want the consistency to be the same throughout. Now, how good does this look, guys? It just looks so lovely and creamy, and I'm loving the look of the texture. So what about you guys? Have you ever tried making your own shea butter cream before? If yes, did it turn out well? And if you haven't, then you should definitely give this a try. So it's time to put them into the jars. So the bigger jar is 250 ml and the smaller one is 150 ml. So I use my shea butter cream on my hair, and I use it on my kids' hair as well. It's great for sealing moisture into the hair. It leaves my hair feeling incredibly soft, tangle free, and so much more manageable. There's just so many great benefits of using shea butter on the hair, so you definitely have to give this a try. By the way, if you haven't already seen my previous video on how I use it on my hair, then make sure you check it out. I will leave the link to that video in the description box. Also, just to add that all of the products, the tools and items used in this video will be listed in the description box, as well as the benefits of the oils I use, so make sure you check it out because it will be very detailed. And just to mention as well that you are free to use the oils of your choice, measurements of your choice, anything that you feel will work for you. This is just how I make mine, which works well for me, and I'm also still experimenting, learning and having fun with different mixtures. And that's how it's looking. So I'm just going to use up the remains of the shea butter that's still in the jar and put it into the smaller one, and that is really it. So just another bit of useful information for you to know. If you prefer for your shea butter cream to have a lighter consistency, then just add more oils to the mix. But if you want a thicker consistency, then just add less oil. I mean, it's all about experimenting to see what your hair responds to best. So guys, let me know your thoughts on this video. Did you enjoy it? Will you be giving this method a try? I would love to know. If you did, please make sure you click the like button, share it with someone who you think would like to see this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.